everyone. Welcome to the podcast. Yeti.
Hi. Oh, walks into base camp. Sorry, it's been a minute, y'all.
It's been a minute.
I'm rusty.
I know, it's been like 2 months since we've recorded an
Whoa.
episode.
Okay, walks into base camp. We're back.
Who are we?
Oh, I'm base camp.
And I'm Yeti Legs.
And we are a through hiking, backpacking adventure couple that loves to do it together. That's kind of how we met and how we got engaged, and now we're still doing it.
Yep. We started this podcast after finishing the PCT in 2022, and it's kind of been like our decompression process post-trail, really, because a lot happens whenever you finish a trail. You got a lot to process out.
A lot to unpack. We're still unpacking it.
We're still unpacking
years
it.
later.
And so here we are, continuing our podcast almost 2 years later. Can you believe it's almost been 2 years?
No. Has it been 2 years? We started this in February of 22, didn't we? 23.
Ooh, then it's right on the button.
Oh my goodness. We really need to
I know.
figure this out so we can do a cute little anniversary.
Right?
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah.
But anyways, welcome. This specific episode is going to come kind of wedged in between a whole bunch of our PCT weekly update episodes, but this was too good of an interview scheduled to pass up. We are here with Glen, the legend, Van Peski.
The man.
And if you don't know who this guy is, he's the founder of Gossamer Gear. Glen, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Welcome.
My pleasure. It's a treat to finally be here.
And if you want to know more about Glen, you should get his book, Take Less, Do More, which we are going to unpack on the podcast today, which I'm super excited about because it's fresh in my mind. I read it after we got back from the Arizona Trail and very excited to unpack this with Glen.
Oh, yeah.
So
I audiobooked it for about a week and a half on the AZT. I'm a far slower reader than she is, and she can just blow through a book in a day. It's fascinating.
Well, what was funny is Glen is, while he's listening to it and we're on the trail, he's like, what do I really need out here? Do you think there's things I can cut? And he's like, am I packing my fears? I was like, babe, your base weight's like 12 pounds. You're fine.
I literally asked her, I was like, you think we could get away with chopsticks for tent steaks?
It was great.
It was a good time, yeah.
But yeah, thank you so much for taking the time to be on our podcast.
You bet. No, I'm intrigued by, a couple that thru hikes together, because I did not marry a thru hiker. Although Francie does have a trail name, PIC, for Peas in a Cup. And there's a story, there. Her last trail name was B&B, for bed and breakfast, because that's her preferred method of adventuring.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So
I love that.
She can hike. She hiked, 450 miles in Europe on the Alpe Adria Trail. But yeah, sleeping in the dirt is not like top of her list. So we've made some compromises, but sometimes I wonder what would life be like if I was married to a, insane, adventurous wife? I don't know, but
it's rare.
You'd be home a lot less, probably.
And you would have less money. That's for sure.
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
We have to save for two.
Yeah, we compromise. Like our adventure van Wally is kind of a compromise because we still get to be out in the woods, but we're sleeping in a soft bed. It's warm. We've got a bathroom, so
nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that.
Have you tried to talk her into the West Highland Way or maybe the Camino de Santiago?
Well, we are joining friends in June for a week on the Camino.
Okay.
Which wouldn't normally be her thing, but there are good friends, and so so that'll be fun. And we, I get her out there. It's not just that she doesn't like sleeping in the dirt. She's got bad arthritis, so it's painful.
Yeah.
But I get her out there sometimes. But then part of the thing is sometimes it works out because if I want to go on a trip, she says, okay, yeah, you go. She's just happy she doesn't have to go with.
Get out of here. Yeah.
So it works out.
I think it's what's difficult for us is he did the Colorado Trail in 23 and I was holding down the fort working at a job, and I was like, I just want to be on trail.
That is,
Yeah,
that's not a problem we have. No.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh, how do I quit my job and join you?
we've decided that it is only fair for her to do her own hike as well. Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cashing it in at some point.
Probably Colorado Trail, right?
We'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see.
To be named later, right?
Yeah.
To
Yeah.
be determined.
Yes.
Folks, this is actually our first book review. Can you
Yeah.
believe that?
Wow.
I know.
I know.
I'm honored.
2 years, our first book review.
I know.
I know. We were excited to read it. We've got a few others. We've got Itch from our friend Nick Fowler. We had him on the podcast a few months back. Great
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
But your book, Glenn, there's a lot to unpack in this thing.
Oh my goodness, yes. Like, not only is it for I don't even know where to start, Glenn, but like the ultralight aspect of wanting to just do this to figure it out for yourself, and then just giving it away to people. I love that the G4 is still on the website. I'm like, I have to find this. And going from there to also all these life principles that you've learned, and it's your life map is what it feels like to me. Like, this is the map and the grid of who you are and who you've become and where you came from. And so you've just lived such an incredibly rich, and when I say rich, I mean like fulfilling and full and holistic life, which I love. Yeah, your book just really inspired me. I was snowshoeing with our dog today, and I was like, man, I feel like I really need more gratitude in my life right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of funny too, because in your book you talk, and we'll get into questions here in a second, but in your book you talk about how you and your wife have set aside a giving fund. You've like increased the percentage of your incomes that you add to that to help people. And we started trying to do a little giving fund here, and I don't know.
We've become more aware of giving.
I think
would
definitely
say
that, because we used to
Yeah.
do it. It tapered off, and now we're back in that. And I don't know. It's fulfilling, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And not just financially giving, but just like giving to people or thinking about little things we can do for people when the opportunity presents itself. And it was when he was listening to your book when we were hiking, and he was like, man, babe, they do this. And I know you and I have talked about this a lot. And I was like, I'm telling you, there's something to this. Like, I continually am drawn to this idea. And I grew up like evangelical Christian, actually, and tithing was a thing, but we don't tithe to a church now. But I want to be able to tithe to the world and give to the world. And so you just brought it right back up.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, we really got to do this.
That's the coolest thing, is to find out, like, there's nothing revolutionary in the book, but, you know, people, like, it hits people at different times. And like you, it's like you'd already been thinking about it. And it's like, this is like a little nudge. And it's interesting to me. So I started doing this before I became a Christian. I called it my World Peace Fund. I don't know, grandiose. Who knows? That was what was on the checks, World Peace Fund. And yeah, we've been able to, increase it substantially over the years. But it's one of the things that comes up frequently. I mean, people take what they're ready for, what they need out of the book. But some themes come up kind of repeatedly more than others, and setting aside a separate account for intentional generosity is one of those things that keeps coming up. So, my fantasy is, my imagination goes wild. I think, how cool would it be to like get to heaven and see like all these little funds that like people started because of like they read about in the book and they'd already been thinking about it, was already on their heart, and all the things that all the people that were touched through that, and that'd be cool.
I love that. I love that a lot. It's so cool too, because you have no idea how many people you've impacted just by writing a book. I mean, how many people are, reading it and really starting to have all these little nuggets going. Yeah. They've already been there. It's like almost just waters the seed that's already there. But
yeah, and sometimes I get, people contact me through the website or something like that, but maybe 10 or 20 compared to like thousands of books sold. So I know there's more stories out there. And it'd be interesting. And that's, you mentioned that. And one of the things that I try and do is think about like people who have touched me and maybe they don't know that, and make sure they know that, because otherwise, like, I can get hit by a bus tomorrow and like, whatever it is, my kindergarten teacher wouldn't know like how something she said set me on a different path or whatever the case may be. So, I try and do those when I think I'm like, oh yeah, I should, jot off a little note and let them know when, they probably have no idea. But when they said this, it changed my life.
Yeah. It's like a continuous, this is going to sound super cheesy, but a continuous web of influence web for Gossamer Gear. See what I did there?
I like the nice.
Sure,
Very
sure.
Web of kindness.
Web of kindness.
I love that.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Well, before we get in, we've already gotten into it, but see, this is where it's so free flowing in this. Do you want to, are we doing a drink of the choice? Does it matter?
We can definitely do a drink of the choice.
We don't have to. Did you bring a drink by any chance?
Oh, no, but I can go get one. Like I have a fridge in my office with beer in it.
You can do that. I brought wine, and so
Yeah, if you want to grab a drink,
up to you though.
All right.
Do it.
Should I get a beer?
Listen. You were like, no.
I'll get a beer now.
Now that you feel you did this last time with the scotch.
I did. AJ, leave all this in here.
I think it's great. I'll talk about Aquatabs while we're all waiting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is a great spot to say that this episode is brought to you and sponsored by Aquatabs. Aquatabs basically
saved our lives
on the Arizona Trail.
Not even kidding.
It was so cold, y'all. Our water filters froze.
While they were filtering. So
yeah,
we tried our best. We couldn't get any filter for like hundreds of miles. And we're so thankful that we had a slew of Aquatabs to use on the trail. And that's truly how we did not get Giardia. Because we had cow ponds, we had bird poop ponds, we had wildlife game ponds, we had just everything you can think of. It was not flowing water. And so we continued to use our filters, our water filtration, just to get all the gunk out. And then we used Aquatabs, and that you literally put it in there. It's a cute little tab. You throw it in your water, and you wait 30 minutes, and you're good to go. And so... yeah, I can't talk about them enough. I'm so thankful we had them. And so thank you so much, Aquatabs, for sponsoring this episode and sponsoring us.
I've got
Cheers. Hey.
Cheers. I got a local brew, Deschutes here.
Oh, we love Deschutes.
They have a alcohol-free IPA now.
What?
It's really good. Yeah.
Dude.
Okay, Deschutes.
Really loving all these like people are doing these non-alcoholic things too.
Yeah, they're getting really good. Yeah.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any of the non-alcoholic ones in my office, so I won't sleep quite as well tonight.
You mentioned Deschutes. That takes me back to Idlewild on the PCT. We had a huge hiker grill out, and that was the darkest beer at the liquor store was Deschutes. I think it's the Black Butte. It's a
Black
porter.
Butte or Obsidian Stout. Yeah. Black Butte Porter. That's what Francie likes, the dark beers.
I like Francie.
He does too.
Me too.
We would get along.
Yeah.
There's certain stouts I can get behind, but
Yeah.
I prefer a Kolsch Pilsner.
What are you drinking, Marie?
I am drinking a Cabernet Sauvignon Merlot 2021 from Australia. It's actually quite lovely. I found Naked Wines and got an awesome promo deal for a case. And so we've been exploring all these fun little wines that from very small vineyards across the world. And it's been quite fun to pair with food. And so it's called the butterfly effect.
Well, there you go.
Nice.
The ripple effect.
Kinda
Wow, that
fits
goes
in.
hand in hand with our earlier conversation.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think you guys need to visit us here in Bend, and we can tour. We belong to a wine club, and then also, of course, there's going to have to be 100 breweries in Bend. So,
No, of course.
Done. Don't have to ask
We can make that
twice.
happen. I feel like we need to redeem Oregon.
On the PCT, yes.
We had an 80-something mile road walk.
No,
Ooh.
114.
114, that was
They
it.
had
Fires?
closed the line. Yeah, the Lions Gate was about to reopen, but they were like truly taking people's permits away if they went through because it was still closed. So we decided to not break our footpath, and we took the highway between Sisters to Redding to Warm Springs to connect us back to the trail, and it was 114 miles.
Sisters to Redmond.
Redmond. Thank
Yeah.
you. Redmond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was painful.
Yeah. Glenn, what are you drinking?
I'm drinking a Deschutes Fresh Haze IPA.
Lovely.
Nice.
I wish I could tell y'all what I was drinking, but I don't know.
I thought it was Von Trapp.
I work at a brewery called Highside here in Breckenridge, and they had a lot of unlabeled cans that were covered in barbecue sauce.
Nice.
Oh, this is one of the
Sounds
unlabeled
like-
ones.
It's kind of roll of the dice or Russian roulette kind of.
like, yeah,
Basically. If I had to guess, I would say this is our Bohemian-style Czech Pilsner.
Did you try it?
Yeah, it tastes very Pilsner-esque, slightly hopped. I'm not mad at it. But yeah, it's always like, it's kind of a gamble whenever I'm opening one. So yeah.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. That's great. Well, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, Glenn. The first and probably not the most important question, but for this podcast and all of our listenership, we all need to know this. What is your backpacking experience? And we're going to try our best not to ruin the book for all of our listeners, because folks need to listen to the podcast and read the book. But yeah, what have you done as far as backpacking goes? And like, what's one of your highlights?
So I haven't done as much backpacking as people think, or maybe it's just because I hang around people like you, and Snorkel and Anish, who have done like huge miles. So I should probably add it up. I don't know. I've probably hiked, maybe 5,000 miles.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
Yeah, not in the through hiking community. I mean, I've hiked most of the PCT. I need to finish that off. I'm missing some of Washington.
Oh, the best section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've done, probably 2-3 weeks worth of the Continental Divide Trail in bits and pieces, done 2 or 3 weeks worth of the AT over the years, hiked the 450-mile Alpe Adria Trail in Europe, Austria, Slovenia, and Italy. Walked from Florence to Rome on the Via Francigena.
What?
No,
You did that?
we want to do that one.
Oh, that's fun. That's super fun. Well, I love Italy, so
Yes.
Yeah.
but
Have you heard of the route that goes from Rome to Canterbury?
I think I have there's Via Francigena is like the short kind of, but it can be extended like both ways, and like all the way is to Canterbury, I think. Yeah.
That's a bucket list item.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. I mean, just, it's different. It's a different kind of through hike. Instead of like drinking out of cow troughs, there's like a fountain in the town square and you just fill up your water bottle. It's pretty awesome.
How beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can have like, just amazing food at any place. I mean, yeah, it's a different kind of trip. I mean, I like sleeping in the dirt, but this is probably a close second. I mean, it's pretty fun.
But still, 5,000 miles is no like small number to balk at.
Well, I've done some bike packing. I've hiked or bike packed a couple thousand miles on the Great Divide. I did ride my bicycle across the United States, 4,200 miles when I was 17. So that's still my longest trip to date, and probably will be till I die, because now I'm married. It's like we are talking. I'm in touch actually with the 3 guys that came with me that summer.
No way.
And we're talking about doing next year, the 50-year anniversary in 2026, riding back the other way.
Whoa.
I'm still
that's
trying
cool.
I'm still kind of enlisting Francie on that idea of me being gone for long periods.
Can she follow you in the van?
Yeah, she may follow. Well, one of the guys, so obviously 50 years later, I mean, I kind of look
amends.
I kind of look similar to, I made amends one. But I kind of look similar just without hair to 50 years ago. Some of the guys have not, they've eaten a little more than I have, or exercised a little less, or different set of genes, whatever. So one of them's already said, like, yeah, we're not going to be sleeping in tents this time. It's going to be like hotels. So, I mean, that's a logistical thing. You got to find hotels. But one of the guys suggested, like, well, why don't we just rent a huge RV and somebody's wife can drive it? We can all just sleep in the RV. And I'm thinking, like, well, one, Francie's, that's a hard no. I don't even have to ask her.
Mm.
And then sleeping in like an RV with 4 smelly guys, it's like, I'd rather sleep in the dirt somewhere. I mean,
Right.
that'd be
Out in
way
the
better.
open.
Yeah. So I don't know quite how the trip's going to unfold yet. You know, I keep trying to, I don't want to run it this time, but I'm trying to like poke, like, hey, can we at least like get a date so I can like block it out on the calendar? Cause I'm already booking stuff for 2026. And one guy who actually is not sure he's actually going to make it thought we ought to start on the same date that we started going the other way.
Whoa.
So
Oh.
I need to check. I haven't done that yet. It's on my list. Check it's in June sometime, I think. One guy kept a journal, so
Okay.
I can at least block out some time, and we'll see how it goes.
How long did it take you to do the bike trip?
It was like
east to west?
6 to 7 weeks.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
we were kids, so we're doing like 85 miles a day.
It's wild.
Did you keep track of how many jars of peanut butter and jelly you bought?
I mean, I
would
didn't
love
write it.
to know
I didn't
that.
write a thing down the whole trip. I don't know why. I don't know why I didn't. Probably because I didn't want the weight of the paper. I have no idea. But one of the guys kept a journal because he says, obviously smarter than me. It's like, I kind of figured this was going to be like a big thing that I was going to do in my life, and I want to have some record of it. So, you know, luckily, thanks to him, we have, you know, the route where we were each night. He even kept track, like meticulous track of what he spent. So it's just fascinating, like how cheap things
Wow.
were 50 years ago. We'll see. Could be fun.
That's awesome.
That's really exciting. I hope it works out.
I hope it works out. The one guy said he wants to write a book, you know, of like the then and now kind of 50 years. I think it'd make a great book, but you know, I already wrote one, so it's time for someone else to write it. So
Like pass off the baton to one of them.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be fun.
Also, I know I'm like hogging the mic right now. So I
No,
wanna
you're
stop.
fine.
But I'm just so curious about this. You do these annual trips, and you get like these really eclectic, fun groups of people, people who can help benefit others or people who can be benefited by the other folks in the group. And Matthew McConaughey was on one of these trips with you, and it sounded like that was a great experience. Did you want to talk about that at all? I mean, you've done these trips with so many interesting people, but for some reason, he just sticks out to most folks.
Well, yeah,
Matthew.
he sticks out
Yeah.
to folks. I
Yeah.
like people. It's fun when you hand someone a book
Household
and they go,
name.
yeah, you wrote a book. And then they open it and they see
And then you
Matthew McConaughey? What the hell? It's like, how'd that happen? So, yeah, he's a friend of a friend. I mean, he's not obviously, you know, I spent hours in the car with him and hours on the trail with him. But yeah, he's a
Yeah.
pretty entertaining guy. I mean, he's obviously a great storyteller, as you could imagine. You know, when I listened to his book, Green Lights, I think, when I listened to that audiobook, a lot of those stories I'd heard before, you know, because hiking, it's like you tell stories. That's what you do.
Yeah.
But the cool thing about him was he was interested in other people's stories and didn't have to be the center of attention, which is, you know, one of the criteria. You guys might need to be added to the list. I don't know. We'll see. Well, this could be an
We'll
audition,
see.
you know. It's like, yeah.
Oh gosh,
Yeah.
now I'm nervous.
Like, don't slip up.
No,
I'll
you
say
seem
all the right things then. No.
you seem fun. You're competent in the outdoors. So yeah.
Well,
We just gotta
I'm saying.
be fast to RSVP because several hundred invites
Oh yeah,
go
first
out,
come,
right?
first serve. I already
It
know
is
this.
First come,
I'm like,
first serve. Yeah, it is.
listen.
Yeah.
We filled up this year's buckskin trip. Filled up. It might have been a new record. I don't know. It was like hours. It was full.
whoa, wow.
I mean, not only is it a great hike, but it sounds like it's going to be with a fun group of folks too.
I mean, Wow. Vermilion Cliffs, because we didn't do the wave when we were there up in the north because we just needed to start because of the winter and the time and all that kind of stuff. And so, but we had a friend do the wave that dropped us off for the trail, the Arizona Trail for people who don't know. But the Vermilion Cliffs in the Vermilion area is like right around there. And we've heard it is some of the most breathtaking, life-changing stuff in the country, really, is what we've heard. Like, and you even explain it in the book, like the way the colors of the sun hit at a certain time with the reds and the greens. And I started just thinking about the Grand Canyon when we went through there, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, what a beautiful experience to get to have to put in your memory bank. But yeah, it just sounds incredible.
And there's cool little, like there's a little petroglyph that you can't see from the bottom anymore, but when you get to like the middle route, if you go up on a little incline and you get high enough, then you can see it on the opposing wall.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a pretty cool place. I mean, I'm not a big fan of like repeating hikes year after year. And I do want to add, I'm thinking of adding Immigrant Wilderness to kind of like a yearly thing, because it's it's easy access. You don't need permits. It's not crowded. And it's basically the High Sierra. I mean, it's the soaring granite. It's not that far from the PCT, but it's like a walk-up permit. And it's pretty easy for people from all over the world to get to. You fly into San Francisco or something. So, yeah, I'm thinking I've taken a couple trips there. So I'm thinking of adding that to kind of the repertoire.
Nice. It's a great idea. I was even, when I was reading about what you're doing with the list and just bringing people together, and I just love it because it's like you're inviting people into what you love, and then they get to know, like everybody gets to know each other from all these different walks of life, which is what through hiking is. It's like you meet these people from all over the world, and you're like, whoa, like we're still best friends with the group of people we met on the PCT, and we still talk to them, and we're like a family. And so it's just, I told Wesley, I was like, man, we should do something like this, like a Colorado Trail excursion or something where, Yeah,
because it's, you meet someone in life and it's like, well, that's interesting. But when you're hiking, you've got time with them. You've got time to find out what makes them tick and find out about their childhood or whatever, how they think about ABC or weird things that they know more about than anyone else in the world, or, it's just, you've got time to, we were with people in Europe, like hiking for, I don't know, 6 weeks or something. So you have a lot of time. And, you're walking every day, and I don't know, it happens so often, you'd ask someone a question, they go, it's a long story. And it's like, we got all day,
We've got
go
nothing
for
but
it.
time.
Yeah. It's like, that's not, that doesn't work to shut down a conversation when you're hiking all day. It's like, go for it. Yeah.
It's so true. And also I think with hiking, you have your phone on airplane mode, really. Like you're not on your phone. We have no technology, disconnecting, which is why I think we love doing it as a couple, because it's, it takes us out of this whole world we call the cotton world, and we go into the space that is like the invitation of nature, that is to ground you and bring you back to a part of who you are. And when we do it as a couple, man, it's perfect. We start hashing all our shit out and it's just like, but we come back so much stronger, I feel like, after we do a backpacking excursion.
Well, and I think the walking is a part of it too. I mean, I'm an introvert, and it's like, if you told me, you're going to sit down with someone and sit with them for like 8 hours and talk, it's like, oh, what part of hell are you describing? It's like, oh my gosh. But the walking, it's like, it's enough, like you're doing something. It's enough physical exercise to kind of occupy your body enough that, I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean, it's not like you're not rock climbing where you have to pay attention, really. I mean, sometimes you have to pay attention to like route finding and stuff. If you miss a sign because you're having a conversation, you could end up somewhere else. But it's enough activity to kind of, I think, engage your body and enough of your brain that just lets the conversation flow. For me, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I understand that. If I'm having a conversation with someone and I don't even have a glass of water on the table in front of me, I realize just how much I fidget when I talk to people. So yeah, the walking component and I don't know, other distractions help diffuse, I guess for me also an introvert, some of the tension. So yeah, I understand that.
We used to laugh. This is years ago. We were in a small group through our church down in San Diego, and so we'd meet every week and go through the sermon and stuff. And you know, after years and years, you get to know these people pretty well. And so every year, they would plan an activity. You know, the women would plan an activity, and the guys would plan an activity. And someone remarked once, like, you ever notice the women's activity is something that they're all sitting in a circle, like. The men's activity, it's like sports or something. They're all sitting in a line where you don't have to look at any of the other guys. You know, it's like we're all looking somewhere else.
I mean,
that's
funny.
Not
wrong.
That's not wrong.
Funny because it's not hard for women to start talking. It's true. I love that so much. Well, if you didn't know, if you're listening, we're already into the book. All these things we're hitting on, these points are actually in the book. And so that is, what we're talking about. I
would say if you want to understand this episode to the fullest and some of the little jokes and innuendos, I would say read the book first. And yeah, I think we should wait a little bit longer. But a little bit later in this episode, if you keep listening, we'll give you a chance to win a signed copy of the book for yourself from Glen.
Yes.
And we'll tell you how.
Which I will say it's a great read, honestly. Yeah. I know you listen. So Wesley listened to it while hiking, which I think is a great thing. But I'm a visual processor, and so I needed to see the words to process. And so I read the book, it was such a wonderful. It kept me captivated the whole time, which I will say I'm more of a fantasy nonfiction girl. But this biography, I'd really say it was very captivating. So I think it's a great read. Yeah.
When I did not read the audiobook, sometimes people talk to me in person. I go, well, you don't sound like it's a shock to them because they listen to the book and they figure that's me. And then they hear my voice.
That's great.
The first thing is like, oh, you didn't read the book. And then they go, oh, I see why. No. No,
I actually think you would have done great.
People don't really say that. Well, the one thing, I've never written a book before, so that was interesting. But also the audiobook was interesting because I've obviously never done that. And they ask you well, what kind of person you're looking for? It's like, well, I don't know, someone kind of like me, but that sounds a little bit better, And so they gave me 5 options that, I got recordings, each of them reading a segment. Actually, first the guy said, well, do you want to read it yourself? And I said, nah, I don't think so. He says, well, read a section, record it and send it to me, and I'll give you an honest opinion. And so I read it and I realized a couple things. One, I had a new appreciation for voice actors. Because I'm an engineer, so you always think if someone's not an engineer, it's well, how hard could it be? I'm an engineer, right? It's voice actor, really? You're reading something. It's come on, But secondly, I realized that if I ever write another book, to proof it, I will read it out loud. Because it just, when you're reading silently, without saying it, your mind fills in gaps and kind of skips over stuff. You get the general gist. And, when you read it out loud, it's oh, I would have put a period there. I would have broken that sentence up. It just, when you hear it, it's oh, would have done that a little differently. But I was so confused reading it. I'd get to the end of a sentence and I wrote it and I'd be oh, I should have started the emphasis should have been in the beginning, and it's too late. That's already passed. And a little bit of trivia. It's actually cheaper to hire a professional to read your book than to do it yourself.
What?
Yeah, because the extra editing, if you're just a schmuck like me, it costs more than hiring a professional to do it.
I suppose that makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it totally makes sense. It's not like a lot cheaper, but it's actually like a little cheaper.
Yeah, editors are a little expensive.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Marie works in film. She was a producer, and she would have to hire editors quite frequently.
Voice actors,
and voice
too.
actors.
Yes, I did. I used to work for a company, but now I'm freelance again. But
the price tags she would read off were just enormous.
yeah. Wesley would always be like, wow, you guys make so much money in film. And he's over here working in he was working in Forest Service at the time because he's in ecology. And he was like, man, you guys make so much. And I'm like, yeah, you guys are the ones who should be making more because you're saving our planet. But, tomato. So I'm going to do some quotes. If it gives too much away in the book, we can always take it out. But these are the quotes that I genuinely was like, wow, these are beautiful. I felt very connected to them, very impacted. But first of all, your trail name is Legend because you are a legend. And for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to say this. Glen was like the creator and starter of ultralight gear, I would say. Like you were in the 90s.
That's an exaggeration.
Is that an exaggeration? Okay.
That's an exaggeration. And also, like some people call me by a trail name Legend, but more people probably call me G squared, just for the record.
G
of trail
squared? Because
Yes.
of Gossamer Gear?
That's what people think, but there's actually only 4 living individuals who know what G squared stands for.
Oh, should we keep? Then we won't tell anyone. Is that what?
We won't even ask.
No, I'm not going to tell you, and you're not going to tell anyone. And actually,
that's fair.
The guy who gave it to me doesn't remember what it stands for. So I used to say there were 5 people alive that knew what it stood for, and then I made that statement. He goes, I don't even remember. And I go, okay, well, now it's 4.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, well, G squared or Legend.
I did have one person guessed it. Like I met him recently. He's super smart, like Elon Musk smart. And he goes, oh, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, how did, he just, boom.
Man.
It just popped out.
I'm literally gonna think of this now, and I'm just gonna be in the bed trying to sleep, and I'm just gonna go through names. I don't know if it's anything to do with a trail, then maybe I'll get something.
She'll have a line
It's
list
not.
of names.
Okay, well that helps. That's 20 questions. We can play 20 questions. But I will say I do feel like, and I could be wrong about this because I don't know much about ultralight history, but it feels like you are a father of ultralight gear. Like you kind of helped start this movement that we now live in, that we could just easily be like, yo, we're going to buy a backpack that's less than £1 and it's not a big deal. Like we didn't have to think about everything that went into it. And so I do feel like you're a father of this movement that we now see in through hiking, which I'm very thankful for.
I didn't start it, but I was there. Let's say. Yeah.
Okay. You were there
I was in the room at the beginning. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. You were in the room helping.
He helped write the Constitution of hyperlight backpacking.
Oh, yes. So I do want to preface with that. But the first quote I really loved and adored. I don't have the chapters on these, and I'm so sorry, but you'll just have to find them, everyone who's listening. It'll be like a little nest, like a little egg hunt. Okay, so the first quote is, fulfillment, I've come to realize, is all about what I can add to the stream of life. And I love that because you gave such an idea and a picture of we're all kind of floating down this rushing river, and we're all in it together. And I just saw it so visually that we're all in this thing called the stream of life, going in a direction. And some people may be going the opposite direction or fighting a torrent of rapids or whatever. But we're all in the river together. And it doesn't change that someone may be different than someone else. We're all here in the stream of life. And what can you add inside of it? Which I loved. It's just so simple yet so profound.
I know. I was thinking when you were talking about the stream of life, I was thinking some people are in pack rafts and some people are in kayaks and some people are hung up in branches and some people are stuck on a rock. And yeah.
Some people are swimming.
Yeah.
Yeah, or paddleboarding. I love that because we're all doing different things, but yet we're all still in the flow of life one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
We can't get out of it.
Well,
so
you're not in the flow forever, but yeah.
True. Good point.
Life can end
Yeah.
unexpectedly. I mean, I have a buddy that just found out he had a brain tumor. He's got a year to live. So that was unexpected. So, yeah.
So sorry. Oh, man.
Her father actually passed from melanoma cancer.
Yeah, he did. And it was in his brain
Oof.
when they found it. Yeah. So I hate cancer so much. It's stupid cancer.
Yeah.
But what was I going to say? Do you have anything to add?
Add to that?
Yeah.
No one wants to touch that.
I will touch this. My grandmother also passed away from cancer, and I cannot remember the name of the brewery to save my life, but it's in Atlanta, Georgia, and they came out with an October IPA, and the name of the beer was Fuck Cancer.
Oh,
and
yes.
I love the name of that beer so much.
Yes. I remember that beer too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was after my dad passed.
It was.
Actually.
Yep.
Okay. Quote number 2. Everybody has their part to play, and every part is an important note in the overall melody. Again, I'm loving these pictures, but it's just you're driving home continually that we all are doing this thing in life, and we all have something important to do and play. We all have something inside of us that wants to come out, and we may be doing it or not. And we all are valuable. Every single human being is a valuable part in this thing and in the melody. So I love that too.
Yeah, and sometimes some of the important things aren't the ones that are glamorous and sexy and high paying. I mean, a kid got sick, so I got called in Sunday to wash dishes at Sparrow Bakery that I walk over from my house. And, pretty much dishwashing is like bottom rung at a bakery.
Yeah.
That's like that's where everybody starts, which is a good thing because everybody knows how to wash dishes. And there's more to it than you think. Kind of like I was, dismissive of voice actors. There's a lot more to washing dishes than you think, in terms of there's just more. But, if there aren't clean dishes, it doesn't matter how awesome the baked goods are, how pretty the lattes are. It's like if you run out of clean dishes, it all comes to a screeching halt. And at this bakery, everyone knows that, and they're extremely grateful for dishwashers. So, yeah, everyone has a part to play.
I love that.
Yeah, I just wanted to emphasize, I was actually going to say that despite being, an engineer and the founder of Gossamer Gear, you also choose to be a dishwasher at Sparrow Bakery over in Oregon. And you play your part. You're still plugged into the community that way. I'm sure you get to meet a slew of awesome, cool, eclectic people. And yeah, I think that just really plays to the quote that you just read off.
Yeah. And I do want to say too, and I think the older I'm getting and the more I'm learning, the more I'm realizing, because I think in my 20s, I was constantly I need to be, this is going to sound horrible. Not horrible. It's going to sound very vain. I need to be famous because I need to make an impact and I need to influence. And it was this idea that I wasn't going to be happy until I was known, quote unquote known. But then I went to therapy and realized that there was a lot of holes and gaps. And I didn't know that I had purpose that could just no one knew about. It didn't have to be, it's like picking up trash on a trail. No one will ever know that we do that. It's not something we're trying to make known to the universe, but it's so beautiful and sweet, almost it's a sweet taste to know no one saw this but us, and we did something that impacted. It was a part of the melody. It was a part of something. It was a part of nature.
Mm-hmm.
And And so I just think there's now getting older and realizing a part to play doesn't mean that you have to be known or wealthy or famous to make an impact, that it's the person in front of you that you're making an impact with. It's us together making an impact. It's us loving our dog and adopting her is making an impact in a small way. But it becomes a ripple effect. And that's what I loved about with your book. You started doing ultralight gear for you and, for your friends, and it created a ripple effect. But you never had this intention that, I want to be known and I want to become famous and I want to make money doing this thing. It was just such a simple decision. And I just feel like in our day and age, especially social media and all this stuff, that so many people are trying to get seen or trying to get known or trying to make this impact with their economy. And that's fine if they want to do that. I hope that they are able to make influence. And now I'm going down a rabbit hole, but I just love that it doesn't have to be this like grandiose, I just got 1 million likes on this post and now I'm valuable, or now I just made an impact. It is truly helping your neighbor across the street, or I helped someone dig out of this big hole in the snow because we're having huge snowstorms, and I pushed their car out because they were stuck. Like, I'll never see them again.
Well, and sometimes you might never know about the impact. I mean, I have a story that's not in the book that we can tell later. But like, you picked up some trash and you don't know, but someone else, later, maybe because there was no trash there, they had an experience there that they wouldn't have had if there's like a candy bar wrapper, and suddenly, they had a moment, God talked to them or something that, something changed their life, and you had a piece of that because you picked up the trash that would have gotten in the way of that. Mm-hmm. And, and fame, it's interesting. So, I had to pick up Matthew McConaughey at the airport for the hike. And so I wasn't talking to him, I'm talking to his people. In fact, I had to pack for him. That was interesting. Because, he's not a backpacker. He doesn't know that stuff, and he doesn't have people that know that stuff. So, but I had to pick him up at the airport. So I'm talking to someone, and his people hired someone in Las Vegas, and I didn't know like this was a job description, to get McConaughey off the plane and get him to the curb. Because if you're that famous, you don't wander down a concourse. I mean, you'd be mobbed. And so I think they took him through back corridors, or I don't know how they did it. I mean, I don't know how to do that job. That's like a specialty. People that take famous people off of planes and get them to curbs. I just picked him up at the curb. But yeah, so fame, he can't wander out. As long as I'm not wearing a Tilly hat, I can probably wander anywhere. No one knows me.
But you've made such an impact, and that's what I think is so cool, is like, and this is, Glenn, what I think is beautiful is everybody, I don't want to say everybody, but a lot of hikers and backpackers know Gossamer Gear. That name is a household name now, within our worlds. And now to know the man behind the man behind the curtain, I guess. Because you could have, been like, oh yeah, I'm Glenn, Gossamer Gear, everywhere you went. But I feel like you didn't promote yourself within the Gossamer Gear continuing. And does that sound, I don't know. It's just.
No, I mean, you gave a backpack to one of the folks that you work with. And his mother said that she hoped your business flourished. And she had no idea that you're the founder of Gossamer Gear. And you were humble.
Well, the other thing is like the success of Gossamer Gear. I've never gotten a salary from Gossamer Gear. So the success of Gossamer Gear doesn't really impact me financially, at least. But yeah, it helps people get on the trail with less weight. So that's a good thing.
Well, I'm glad you
It
wrote
is.
the book. Yes, because now we all can put the person with the creation. So
It is weird writing a book where you tell personal things, because all of a sudden there are several thousand people out there that I don't even know their name in most cases, but they know a lot about me.
yeah, I know. I was like, wow, I feel like I know Glenn. Like it was like it feels like a personal friend now after reading the book.
You do. We'll get you on the list, and then we'll do some hiking. Then I'll get to know you.
There
We
you
can
go.
do that too.
Yeah.
Was that a creepy experience for you? All these random strangers reaching out who just know just volumes of information about you.
Not creepy. It's it's a little strange. But I got an email from a gal who's a super interesting adventure hiker, biker, lives in Bellingham. And, it was like, I feel like I know you, blah, blah, blah. And, we got a lot in common. And you always wonder kind of where these things are going to go, and, but she's become a great friend. She's helping me. I'm working on she started a book club. And so I went to a meeting, and they did Take Less, Do More. So when I was over there to give a talk, I went to her book club. And now I'm writing a study guide for book clubs to use. And so she's helping me with that. And, she's a super fascinating person, but, I never would have met her otherwise if she hadn't written. So, but it's just weird. Like they have a head start. Like they know a lot about me. I know zip about them.
Wait, here's a question. Have you had anyone reach out to you and say, how do I get on the list? Has that been a question now?
That has been a question. And I always explain to them, it's actually people have just said put me on the list or something like that. I forget. I thought it was a little bold personally.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, it doesn't really work like that. It's not like you check a box. It's a process. And it's one of those things, like if you ask, you've probably disqualified yourself right away. It's like,
say if you read the book, well, you would learn
Yeah.
and know that this isn't how you get on the list.
it's kind of like invitation only. And I've actually had to get the list a little more organized because I got tired of typing in 100 email addresses every time I send something out. So I've got it using a mailing software thing. And so when I put someone on that list, they get an email that kind of explains the list, the rules of the list. Like you can't talk about the list, because you don't want to make people feel bad. And I don't want a bunch of people calling me saying, hey, my buddy Joe's on the list and I want to get on this list. Yeah. So, and you can't invite, because you got on the list doesn't mean you can invite other people to join the list. So, yeah.
It's like Fight Club for hiking.
Yeah, same kind of thing. Yeah. In some sense. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, moving on. Here's another one I loved. I have found that being in the wild is a great leveler. No matter who people are in the regular world, when you are walking in the wilderness, perhaps putting yourself at risk, those social or cultural parts of our identities slip away. And this is just hit home. I don't want to speak for you, but definitely for me. And through hiking, I mean, we have no clue who any of these people are. We all stink. We all are starving and need water and dehydrated, and we're sleeping under tents. And it was I know you've said this, Wesley, a million times. It's it is the great leveler because it doesn't matter. Your social status doesn't matter out on the trail. You all stink and you all look dirty together. You look homeless and we don't, I remember in through hiking on the PCT, we never asked anybody what they did. We asked them who they were.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's just, that was a quote that resonated with me.
When sometimes you don't even know their names because it doesn't matter. It's like they go by trail names, and a guy could be down to his last $20, or it could be a multimillionaire. And frankly, your bank account is of no help when you're through hiking. It's you might have a little nicer gear, but you still got to poop in a hole, and you still need to find water and treat it. It doesn't matter how much you're worth.
Yeah. And I loved that so much. I think coming back into society, it helped me, because I have to I don't want to say deal with, but like I have to talk to sometimes, executives and executive producers and money people. And I just remember when I got back from the trail, I was like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, who literally cares who you are? You have to poop the same way I do. You got to put your pants up too. Like, it's all, it's just all the same. So I'm going to walk into this meeting and be myself, and that's it. And so, yeah, I love that.
No, it's definitely true. I feel like the only professions I would want to know people had on trail were physician, a cook, or a seamstress. So I can surround myself with those people just in case something goes awry. But yeah, you're right. I mean, most of the people in our family on the PCT, we didn't even know what they did for careers until halfway through with the trail. And I'm like, because it just didn't matter. And those topics just came up in random conversation at a brewery. It wasn't like a pointed thing that we wanted to ask them.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I mean, that's almost the second question you get asked when you meet someone new is, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like, well, does it really matter?
Yeah, it defines who you are.
Yeah.
And I just love that it's kind of flipped on when you're like out in nature. It's flipped because it's like, well, who are you? What is, what makes you you?
Yeah.
Which is beautiful. My next quote. Oh, this is a long one. Everybody stay with me. I regularly try to reduce the number of goals I'm striving to achieve so that I can focus as clearly as possible on each and am not splitting my attention and efforts. What matters to you? Put that first. Write it down and put it on your bathroom mirror, on your fridge, on your steering wheel. Wait, is that in your book or did I write? Okay, I also did this in voiceover when I was writing it because I was reading it. Sorry, that could have been me on steering wheel. Are the choices you are making today supporting the life you truly desire? And I love that quote. Just, again, resonated with me. Yeah. Do you have anything from it?
Less is sometimes more. I mean, if you're stretched in 1,000 different directions, you can't focus wholly on any one specific thing and perfect it, or at least get it to where you want it to be.
Yeah.
Or where it needs to be. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of times I stretch myself out too much. And I think us, after pausing the Arizona Trail and coming back and trying to, I guess, recalibrate and figure out what is important for us has helped me with that process as well.
And it can change. I mean, and I do this with varying degrees of success, because I've been through a recent spate of saying no to things, which is good because I have a habit of, an opportunity comes up and I look at that opportunity and, that'd be great, and I kind of in my mind, it's like, well, it kind of fits with this and kind of fits with these other things I'm doing. And, I don't step back and go, okay, but like, yeah, I'm already doing 100 things. So 101 is not going to work. So then I start saying like no to everything until it gets more manageable. So, I've been saying some no recently.
Would you say that your character is innately to overcommit to things?
Probably, or at least verging on that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm retired, so I don't have like a real job. But I have my fingers in a lot of different things right now. So, and it's, some of it depends on the people. I mean, we have like travel plans, but then like we belong to this club and they're doing a wine cruise through Burgundy. And it's like,
what?
Well, that sounds like fun. It's like, well, add that to the list, So
yeah.
I came up with, you guys will enjoy this. So, I'm a planner. So I came up with like a 2025 travel plan, and these are all the like possibilities. And you'll notice there's two columns like Glenn and Francie's. It's like something we're doing together or not. And then Francie's not so much of a planner. People ask her like, what are you doing? She goes, I don't know. Ask Glenn. She's like, People. She said, "Yeah, we're leaving Tuesday. Where are you going?" I don't know. Somewhere Europe. I don't know. So I finally coaxed her, like, honey, we got to sit down and like at least take a first pass at this. Like, is there stuff that we know is not going to happen this year, or we know is going to happen this year? We're going to commit to it, and then the rest of them are kind of like floating in there. They might or might not happen. So yeah, that's I forget how we got down that rabbit trail, but yeah.
That was awesome.
No, it's because I'm a planner and he's not, or I guess you can be.
I can
if
be,
you
but it's
need
not
to be.
It's not inherent. Yeah.
But it's just the funniest thing. We're very similar, Glenn, in that way. I love spreadsheet. I even made a spreadsheet for the PCT. It took me 6 months, but I broke down every day of our entire hike. Because I was like when I was reading the book, I was laughing on certain parts because of how you also break things down. I was like, oh my God, he sounds like me.
It's funny too, because the other day I went and checked the mail. She was out of town, and I got something from Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, and I was like, oh, it's just another medical bill. And turns out it was a small fee that we had to pay to establish our health insurance.
No. It was our second payment for our
second
health insurance.
payment.
That I was thinking about, like when I was in my work trip, and I was like, oh, we've got to pay our second. We got to do that. And then I like see it, and I paid it last night. I was like, hey, babe, did you open this mail while I was gone?
I was like, yeah, it's just more bills.
I was like, no, this is our
blah,
insurance.
blah, blah. I was like, no, this needs to happen. Yeah. So when we travel, like I carry both our passports, both our boarding passes. I give Francie her passport like as we hit TSA. And as soon as we're through security, she goes, here. She gives it back to me.
I will say I do. I let him do that because I'm scared I'll lose everything.
It's good to have one person like, okay, we're in charge of this. Yeah.
You two seem very well balanced together.
You do.
You know,
and
it's been working for 43 years. So.
Wow. Congratulations, by the way. That is beautiful. Oh, my goodness.
We're almost on 5 and still going strong. So that's
good.
something, right?
Yeah. 43 would be amazing to have.
I think a through hike probably counts as about 5 years of marriage right there.
Boy.
I survived that.
Yes. And I think it added 5 years, I would say. Our communication excelled 5 years past. Yes, for sure.
No, but you don't want to get in the tent with someone at the end of the day and you're still upset with each other. Like, no, you have to sort that out so that you can have an amicable, like, kiss before you go to bed at night.
Yeah.
Don't let the sun go down with your anger.
Yeah, that.
So, I was going to say with that one, what I thought was beautiful, and I just want to share this. So when we finished the PCT, I had a very simple and small revelation, but it felt very big. Going back with your quote of like, what matters to you and what are you putting your attention and efforts towards? Because what you do that with, it creates energy that continues to go. And it's a momentum train kind of thing. And when we finished the PCT, I just had this simple realization that this is life. And like, it's like if I had a goal in the cotton world that I wanted to fulfill, all I have to do is keep putting steps towards it, just like this through hike. And I'll eventually get there. Like, that's just what's so beautiful about where we live and the things we can do. And so it was like, all you have to do is come up with a passion and an effort and then just start walking. And it doesn't mean it's going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that it's going to look the way you think, because the through hike didn't. It had the highest highs and the lowest lows. It had the greatest joys and the deepest pains. And we failed half the time and we succeeded half the time. But we still got to the terminus and we touched it. And it was like, oh, this is just like life. Like, there are things we all have passions for, and all we have to do is take one step and then another and then another and then another. And it feels like we'll never get there, but we will. Eventually, we'll get there. So I just that resonated for me as like, also, I experienced that from just a different piece on the PCT.
Yeah, and it's interesting. We tend to, we're always looking forward like, oh, we've got another 1,000 miles to go. But you forget to look backwards and go, oh, we've done 1,000 miles. It's like, how crazy is that? And it's also interesting how like people show up when you need them. Like I finally decided, okay, I'm going to write this book. I've been bugged about it for a long time. And I thought, well, I should talk to some other people and learn something, because anybody can teach me anything, because I know nothing at this point. And, I started going through my contacts. Like, that's like, I know 20 people that have written books, I never thought about it before. So I was like, I start calling them up, and learn from them. So yeah, people show up.
I love that. People show up when you need them.
They do. And, the trail provides. It doesn't apply just to a hike. It applies to real life, honestly.
Yep.
Yeah. Life provides when you need it. I love that.
And you know what? If you have listened this far into the episode,
we have a gift potentially for you.
Yes. So the first 3 folks who decide to send us an email to our podcast, that is going to be Yeti Walks into Base Camp
at gmail.com.
That's all one word. Just send us an email and let us know what you have done or what you plan to do that will allow you to do more by taking less. So just let us know that in an email, and we will, if you were one of the first 3 to reach out, get you a copy of Glen's book. And Glen, are you going to sign it? Is it going to be, is it going to have the famous John Hancock in there?
Yes, I will sign it. And if they want, I will inscribe it with their name. I will mail it in like a custom, very cool bubble mailer with a special prize of 2 ultralight super mini lip balms.
There you go.
Ooh, chapstick's the best. So that's exciting.
Wait, can they get their books gilded as well?
That would be extra.
That's awesome.
So yes, just to repeat, you guys, because the book is called Take Less, Do More. And we want to know from you, what do you and how do you do this? How are you going to take less to do more? And it doesn't have to be backpacking. It can be in life. Mm-hmm. Just let us know. But also, if you're a backpacker or through hiker, how are you going to take less? And how are you going to do more on the trail? I'd love to hear that.
Yep. Shoot us an email. The first 3, get a copy.
Ooh, and we're going to share it on one of our upcoming episodes. The people who do respond, we'd love to share what you have to say.
Cool.
Okay.
Well, that was that.
Going back. Okay. I loved your flower arrangement story. I thought this was such a great idea. And again, for those of you who are like, what in the world is this? You have to read the book or listen to the audiobook. But I will give a brief, I love that you gave this woman your card and you're like, if you feel so compelled, and you feel like they really need this blessing, put it on my card and let me know how much after. I was just like, that is the coolest thing. Because it's like getting creative with giving. It doesn't have to be just like, oh yeah, this person really needs $100. Like, let me give $100. And it's not, there's no stories behind it. There's no attachment or connection. I just love that you did that. I just wanted to say that.
Well, and the cool thing is that the generosity begets more generosity, because I would hear these stories from this gal. She would tell me, she'd call me up and say, well, this gal was coming in and, her friend died and she wanted to get flowers. Her friend was sick or something, I forget. And she obviously didn't have a lot of money. And, she kept looking at this beautiful arrangement for, like, I'm making up numbers here, but say $80 when all she really had was $10, and so the gal keeps showing her like the $10 ones and she keeps kind of looking at the $80 one. But when the gal called to tell me, she says, well, I let her have it for $50, which I paid. I mean, she used my card, but she didn't charge the full price, because then she was part of the magic, part of the generosity. So it was cool.
I love it. I'm like, man, I want to come up with some creative ways.
Well, it's kind of like, I forget, I don't know if they do it here or in Europe, putting, like you buy a coffee for someone else that you don't know. I forget there's a name for it, but I forget.
Paying it forward.
There's
something, because they did this on the trail where people would pay for people's beers, like through hikers' beers. And then they just gave us free beers in different places.
Yeah.
It's like It's like a money pot thing. I don't know. It's something.
Yeah. That's a cool thing.
Huh. You know,
Yeah.
we can actually do that at the brewery.
I know. We need to do that.
You can
oh,
buy
that's
beers,
a great idea.
and they put it on a little placard, and it says for anyone who needs it, or you can put a specific name.
Oh.
Or
Okay, that's
like a
something
thru
we can think
hiker or
about.
someone that's having a bad day or someone with small kids or whatever.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the CDT and the CT go straight through Breckenridge.
Yeah.
So that's a great opportunity.
Yeah, it's one of the towns right off the trail.
Yeah.
So we're trying to think of ways to like give back to the thru hiking community as well.
Yeah, we were in Breckenridge on doing bike packing the Great Divide and saw some thru hikers there.
Nice.
Actually met
Nice.
some thru hikers carrying Gossamer packs. That was pretty fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have a few friends that carry Gossamer packs, and they are obsessed with them.
Just tangent. This one guy, he's from the UK. His name's Kappa.
Kappa.
He carried a Gossamer Gear the entire PCT, and boy, his mesh looked like straight up Swiss cheese by the time he got to the end of it.
And he would bump his back on. He loved it. He was like, yeah, it looks like cheese.
Yeah, he walked with kind of a bounce, and so his little mesh pouch would like bounce with him.
But yeah, he bought another one because he loved it so much.
Yeah.
Anyway, so okay.
Do you want to do all these?
No, I know, because I have so many, Glenn, that I wrote down because I love them all. I just want to touch on the plane crash story. It is in the book. I am really sorry that you lost your friend in that. And I'm so sorry that you experienced that. That had to have been so traumatic. I love though that you were able to turn that into something so beautiful, and it became something for you that was such a core part of who you are. And just, I love how you were like, it made you realize how much you needed to, you said, I learned an important lesson about my family. Yes, I needed to go out of my way to invest in myself, but even more so in them. And you brought something out of that. And there's the compass.
There's the altimeter.
Oh my
Yeah.
Oh my
off the plane.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, y'all can't see it, but he just held it up in the video. Wow.
It was a part of the plane crash. And without getting into too many details, but it just was such an impactful, wild story to hear. And just thank you for sharing it in the book. I know that had to have been really hard to I don't know if it was hard to unpack, but like, yeah.
It's been a long time now. But of course, I mean, as we record this, there've been 3 plane crashes in the last week or two. So
many,
it has been, I made it kind of the subject of my last blog post. So yeah, there are certainly reminders of it, but I don't, obviously it wasn't as bad for me as for the pilot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what a hero too, honestly. Yeah, I think I don't want to use the word ironic, but I don't know, you had gone to, and this is spoiling the book a little bit, but you had gone to not a self-help, but a self-improvement seminar, and you and your comrades are flying back from that seminar, and it led to this huge level of self, I guess, development after the fact, after the crash and everything. But I don't know. Is there anything you want to say more to that? I don't want to keep talking about it if you don't want to, but
no, I mean, it doesn't bother me. I'm a happy flyer. I mean,
sure.
We don't often think of driving because we have the luxury of time. So, unless there's an ocean involved, we're hopping in our Sprinter van and we're driving because it's just fun. It's part of the adventure, and camping in the woods along the way and visiting people along the way and meeting seeing new things. We're driving along once in New York State or something, and usually I do all the driving. We've got 100,000 miles, over 100,000 miles on Wally in 4 years.
Nice.
And Francie's always on her phone, checking things out. Like, we'll see something. I wonder, what's that growing there? And she said, well, she'll check it out and tell me, well, let me tell you what I've learned. So
Sure.
I'm busy driving, and Francie's checking. She goes, oh. She says, the Jell-O Museum is only like 45 minutes out of the way.
Did you say Jell-O?
Jell-O Museum, yes.
Jell-O Museum.
I didn't even know there was a Jell-O Museum. But so we went to the
so.
Jell-O Museum. So, yeah. So kind of a side tangent. But, yeah, I don't mind talking about it. I mean, to me, the takeaway was that life can be short. You know, it could be a plane crash, it could be walking in front of a bus, it could be a bad diagnosis.
Yeah.
And we know we all die. We just don't know when. And for some of us, it's unexpected and sooner than we thought. So, you know, I've been actually thinking about this a lot because of my buddy who's got the brain tumor, and thinking about, okay, if I knew I had a year left, like, what would I prioritize? You know, one, I got to teach Francie how to pay the bills and stuff. Clearly, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of knowledge transfer that needs to happen.
Wait, who has the passwords? Is that you?
Well, yeah, yes. Francie, the thing is, she would change her password so often. We have like a password manager, but she would change them so often that finally, like in her password manager, it says, ask dad. It's like, do not change it. Like, ask me, I will handle it, because otherwise it's just a mess.
Exactly. I'm sorry. I'm dying over here.
Right
I'm like,
now.
this is exactly what happens to us. He'll change the password so many times because he forgot what he put in. And then I'm like getting into her accounts. I'm like, it says it's not the right password. I'm like, babe, did you change the password again?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, we have, that's a good area. Like, no, there's only
amazing.
one person that changes the passwords. And, you know, we have a
That's
lot of
amazing.
things that's like, if anything happens to me, I tell Francie, call Brian. He's our oldest son. Because, like,
Okay.
I've got a Dropbox folder that he has access to. It has a bunch of information in there. It's like, don't try and figure it out. Call Brian, you know.
Oh, I love that. Well, and I just want to say, living your life like it is your last day, like it just changes perspective. And I think that, I don't want to say, I feel like in the climate we're in right now in our country, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot going on, there's a lot of emotions. And I have to remind myself that, like, if it were my last, where would I be? And how would I spend the time? And how would I be grateful for what I have? And I think it does put you into perspective, because when my dad passed away, it very much put into perspective just how much time is limited. We only have a certain amount of time. So what do I want to do with the time that I have? And so we got married. I was like, who cares what anyone thinks? I want to be with this man. Like, we're going to do our life together. Let's get married. And then let's go do the PCT, because we don't know how much time we have. We want to both through hike. Why don't we do it now? And you know, that set a course for us in our path. But I just want to say, like, that what you said in the book, it really does, like, people, especially who listen to our podcast, it's like they have this desire to go and through hike or do a backpacking trip. And a lot of times it's like, well, what's holding you back? You know, what's stopping you from doing it? And I think a lot of times it's money or time, you know, which is understandable. But if you live your life like it might be your last or your last year, then how would you change it? And, you know,
And it's hard to keep that focus, because I mean, I would say we, but maybe I should just say I mean, tend to just fall back into like the kind of just figuring life will kind of go on. I mean, I know it doesn't go on forever, but you just kind of figure like next year will kind of be like this year, and the year after that. I mean, you know, you just figure you've got time. But having a friend go through this, and I'm trying to talk him into doing a blog post for me, guest post. But it has me thinking those thoughts like, okay, you know, if it was my last year, what would I stop doing? And if I would stop doing it, if I knew I only had a year, should I be doing it now? I don't know.
Wow.
You know?
Oh, that's so deep and so good and so. Oh.
And I haven't stopped doing anything yet, but you know, I am thinking about it. I mean, there's things like, okay, I'm doing this, but it's like part of a bigger plan, kind of, you know, it's like, yeah, but if I had a year, it's like, that's gone like that.
Yeah.
And another thing that was interesting to me, this guy, he's married. They've been married a long time. And he's wearing, they have some kind of helmet that makes radio waves or something that slows down the growth of the tumor. And so, you know, that buys you more time basically. But it requires a battery pack. And so he's trying to think of like, you know, can I get a backpacking trip in? Cause he loves to backpack. And, you know, like how far could I go like in a day? And I'm thinking, not having his diagnosis, like, what the heck, you know, if I'm willing to, if it involves backpacking, I would maybe take a 3-day trip and I'll live a little shorter. Like, who cares? I'm getting the backpacking trip in. And I mentioned this to him and he said, yeah, well, I told my wife, you know, I would give her every day I could. And I'm like, duh, like, yeah, of course. You know, when I put myself in that situation, it's like, yeah, of course that's the right answer, you know?
Yeah.
It was a learning moment for me.
Wow.
Man.
Can you think of anything that you would give up if you were given a year?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. The first thing that comes to mind for me is probably social media, to be honest with you. I would just delete all of those logins, all the apps.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, that eats away at time. That just
so much time.
And mental time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Should we just delete all our social media accounts?
Not yet.
Man, you know, I don't know. I think after we got back from the AZT, I've really been reevaluating some things and trying to figure out where my time is best served. So I don't know. Maybe, well, I started getting back into reading because I used to read all the time. I was a huge nerd in middle school and I read every book I could get my hands on. And that's been a good thing, I think. I don't know. I need to think about it.
It's not a question.
Okay.
It's
no, I know.
probably not a question you answer like boom, you know? I mean, that's like that's some thought and some discussion. And, you know, when you're in a relationship, it's like that complicates it. I mean, getting a diagnosis by yourself, that's one thing. As half of a couple, it's like that's a different answer.
It is.
Yeah.
That would, I'd have to think about it. Is there any you?
Well, social media.
Besides social media. Okay.
That's the only one that I was thinking of.
Yeah. Oh,
Huge
man.
time suck.
Yeah, social media would definitely be mine, I would say. Man, you got me in a lab.
Her gears are turning over here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I love the way you describe yours and Francie, that's his wife, your relationship in the book and how you met and, you know, got married. I also love that you do this, like the date of your anniversary. Every year you actually celebrate every month. So we started to do that too. I mean, we try to do a monthly date anyway, but our anniversary is on the 14th in November. And so after he listened to your book, he's like, babe, let's do this. We should do this. I was like, oh my God, it makes it exciting and fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, and the idea of the kidnap story, I lost my mind. I was like, this is amazing what you did. Like, just
whenever I heard that you did that, I'm like, I'm glad we didn't get married on the 31st because that would be a hard
or
one.
the 13th. No.
We'd only get like half the year worth of date nights in then.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, and sometimes it's like little things like, okay, we just had Valentine's Day. So last year, I I don't know, spaced on it and had to pivot because when I called around all the fancy restaurants, like 2 weeks out, it's like, duh, no, we have no. And so I was like, so anyway, we took our Sprinter van out in the snow. I said, honey, we're doing an adventure Valentine's Day. We're going out in the snow. I'm going to cook you dinner. It's going to be awesome. We're looking after our son's dog. So he was happy because he's a husky. So he was happy. So it was a lot of fun. This year, I actually was not so spacey and made reservations well ahead of time at our favorite restaurant, which she knew about. But what she didn't know about is that I had flowers delivered to the table. So when we got there were flowers on the table.
Wow.
It was the only table there were flowers on. So it was like major bonus points, and the ladies that were leaving is like, oh, are those yours? Francie goes, yeah, like, pretty special.
Brownie points.
Yeah.
Glenn, I'm going to shoot you a follow-up email for some pointers here.
I was going to say, you should do a guys retreat where you just give men ideas on how to love their spouses, or like, I don't know, you do really creative ones, which is awesome.
The cache of cards is another good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone should do that. There actually is a document on my website, Tips from an Old Married Guy, based on an old Toastmasters speech that has like a bunch of things. And I'm sure, I'm an engineer for crying out loud. I'm sure there's more creative people than me. But it's, it's what you think about. And one gal made a comment, as she was leaving the restaurant to Francie, like, well, how lucky you are, you have a husband that got you flowers and clearly cares. And I had to tell her, like, yeah, well, Francie kind of suffered benign neglect for many, many years when I was overworking. So it's like, she's due. I mean, it's like, on the grand scheme of things, it's like, yeah, I'm still paying back.
That leads me to what I was going to say. And I put this down. I'm not even kidding in my notes. I put Francie, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point, exclamation point. Because I was like, oh my goodness, this woman is a saint. And like, I cannot imagine everything that she went through. And thank you so much for putting in the book. And that she probably let you put it in the book too. But like, I was just putting myself in her shoes as a woman and a wife and, potentially a mom one day, like experiencing all the emotional and mental just benders she went through and experienced, and holding the family together for all the years she did. And also thank you for being so honest about where you were as well in your process. Just the whole thing, I was like, wow, I loved your honesty in experiencing, because we all go through that in different ways in life too. But just everything she went through, I was like, Francie, oh my gosh, like I just want to get to know this woman, because she just seems like a gem of a human being, and just the way that she has done her life and loved well. I'm just like, I just feel like God's like, well done, my good and faithful servant. You may enter the kingdom, baby. Like,
Francie is a rock.
She just seems amazing. Yeah. And her pictures, from your pictures in the book, I'm like, she just has, you can see it in her eyes. She's got a heart that is just so big and full of love and goodness, and so yeah, Francie is all I put in all exclamation points.
And she's tough. Wow. Well, you guys need to come visit so you can meet Francie. Yeah. I
would love that.
I tell her, it's like, honey, it's still a miracle to me that every morning this supermodel walks down the stairs and like, it's the same woman every day. It's like, what have I done to deserve this? It's amazing.
Oh.
I love that.
This 43 years of marriage, you guys, this is it. Like,
well, tell Francie I'll bring the dark beers.
Okay. Yeah. Deal.
Okay. Oh, I was going to say, okay, sorry. Now going back to the backpack, because I was just chuckling at your backpack, where you said, I told him I wanted to make 25 backpacks. And I figured that would take care of everyone who wanted one, and I could get back to engineering.
So Glenn had gone through various versions of a backpack. you went back and forth. Was it with Reed that you would go back and forth with the design?
Yeah,
G1.
I'd sew one, and then we'd go hiking with it, and I'd think like, I could do this. Kind of the engineering curse. Like, I could do this a little better.
Yeah.
So then I sewed another one, and ended up the fourth one. I thought, this is pretty good. Works for. I like how it works. So
The
The
G4.
G4.
I love that. I just love though that you were like, just you know what, maybe I'll make 25. And then you call the guy. He's like, well, I only make a minimum of 100 backpacks. And you're like, what about you compromise at 50? And how it wasn't enough. Like, sorry, our dog is right beside us.
She is also a husky.
She is also a husky, yes.
Yeah.
I feel your
And
pain.
she just knocked my mic over because she wants attention. But I just love that you were like made 50 and then it wasn't enough. It was perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is so great.
I still have those that, so our son Brian put together like a very rudimentary website that sent me an email when someone placed an order. So I'm working on my desk one day and suddenly I get an email. It's like, uh-oh, someone like placed an order. What do I do? I mean, I hadn't like thought past that. So I grabbed a pad of yellow paper and I still have those yellow line pieces of paper.
Mhm.
In fact, I think,
you have that on your pictures.
in the book, we've got a picture of them. Yeah.
Yeah. It's perfect. Or he's going to let our dog out. She probably needs to cool off because she's got a double coat right now. We've had like so much snow the last 4 days, I think. It's just continually going. And I think we've had like 2 feet at least the last few days.
Oh.
And she's just,
I'm jealous.
she loves it. She's just jumping in it like it's, like it's nothing. But
When our son's dog visits, he lives in Portland, so they don't see snow very often. And Vaughn loves to be in Bend. And if there's snow, we'll put a chain on him so he can stay out in the yard because he's like, no, I'm good. It's like, I'm just going to curl up in a snowbank here. I'm perfectly happy.
yeah. Yeah. It's the funniest thing to watch. She's just pure joy.
Oh, we've gotten about 4 feet, 5 feet out
Oh, 5
here.
feet. Sorry, I said 2. We've had a lot of snow. It's been nonstop.
And she is, for all intents and purposes, swimming through the snowbanks.
Literally swimming.
It's the cutest thing to watch.
And her face just lights up like pure joy. She's just like, it's the cutest thing. But I did want to ask though, the timeline. You were a part of the PCTA. Lived in San Diego, if I'm correct. Correct me if I'm wrong in this, but as I was reading it, you lived in San Diego. You joined the PCTA board. Correct. And then you were Trail Angels as well. Like, I loved this. You offered for people to come and stay at your house. You dropped them off at the southern terminus. And then, I'm going to mispronounce his name, but John, is it McKee or McKay?
I'm drawing a
The
blank.
Whole Foods guy?
Hum a few bars.
It's okay.
Oh, John Mackey.
The Whole Food.
John Mackey.
Mackey.
Co-founder
Thank you. See,
of
I
Whole
had
Foods
to
Market.
pronounce
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Co-founder of Whole Foods Market. But the timeline, what years were the timelines of these progressions with the PCTA to being a Trail Angel in San Diego to John buying Gossamer Gear? Was this like within 5 years or?
So that's a good question. The Trail Angel stuff was early on. I'd have a exchange with people as they bought a G4, we were buying this to do the PCT or whatever. We're coming over from England or whatever. It's like, oh, great. You can stay at the house for a couple of days, and we'll get you to the border. And then we're probably, I'm guessing the time on the PCTA board is probably more like approaching 10 years in. Maybe 6 or 7. I don't know. I could probably dig it up, but record keeping wasn't something there was a lot of, and there was a lot going on. Record keeping was not high on the list at that point.
Yeah.
Was this early 2000s then in your world?
Yeah. So I think we shipped the first packs in like 97-ish. 97, 98. So yeah, it would have been the early 2000s, I guess.
Okay.
Which-
I was just curious as I was reading it. I was like, oh, I'm wondering where the timeline is.
I do
So-
have
so
a
you-
timeline somewhere.
But you came up with these different versions of your backpack, and you put basically the blueprints or the instructions on how to create it online. People couldn't figure out how to make it, and I completely empathize with that because I couldn't either. I can't sew. But eventually you're like, well, why don't I just make these packs for folks? And people started to order them from you at some point, and then it blew up into this big thing which you couldn't keep control of, and also work 70 to 80 hours at your firm that you had started. Is that right?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I
And-
wasn't willing to, like, if I was single, yeah, maybe I would have quit the engineering and gambled on the gear
Yeah.
business. But I liked engineering, and it paid me a lot of money, whereas the gear business didn't pay me any money. So,
Yeah.
you know, with college educations and a mortgage, it's like, yeah, well, that's a pretty easy choice. Yeah.
Yeah. And this all started because basically you were a scout leader, right?
Right.
And you went out with your son and the troop, and you and your kiddo had these obscenely heavy backpacks, like
Oh my
70.
gosh.
You carry what, 70 plus pounds?
I was like guffawing when you said how much your pack weighed. It was like 70 and a half or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And your son's was 40 and something, which is a lot.
Yeah. I mean,
And
we got a picture
so-
of us in the book, you know, of the
Yeah.
huge packs towering over our heads. Yeah.
behemoths.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great. But there was nothing. You went to REI and you bought the packs that they had available. And I remember you saying yours was 7.5 pounds, just the pack.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
I was astounded by this. And this is back in the 90s.
Yeah, that was
So,
the start of
you
the
know.
internal frame packs. You know, he said, oh, this is the new thing, internal frame. And I'm like, okay. I mean, I had an old Kelty external frame when I was in Boy Scouts.
Mhm.
And I don't know. I kind of think now, looking back, that the whole internal frame thing was basically marketing. I don't think it was a step forward from my old Kelty frame pack, personally. It was heavier.
Interesting.
You know, they said it moves with your body more, blah, blah, blah. It's like, I don't know.
Huh.
That's fascinating to think about, especially knowing packs. But
Oh my gosh. Packs. Don't get me started on those. They're a dime a dozen these days. You know what? And I will say this, admittedly and very guiltily. I have never tried a Gossamer Gear pack on before.
Hey, no need to. As long as you have something that works, like, I don't really care.
Well, I mean, they make it. They make it. They don't work perfectly. We've yet to find the
Well,
perfect, except Granite Gear has
Build-
been working for us.
and Build-A-Bear, one of our dear friends we met on the PCT, his name's Build-A-Bear because he made all of his own gear. So he had a little bear hat, cap, beanie, and had little bears on it. So
Yeah.
his name became Build-A-Bear, his trail name. And he made us packs for the AZT, custom fitted packs, lightweight packs. And they didn't come in on time for the AZT, so we weren't able to use them. So we still
Customs.
need to. We're gonna use them, but anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, I
digress.
was going to say, when you were saying we haven't found the perfect pack, is like the only way to get exactly what you want is to sew your own, and probably not the first one. I have to tell you,
Yeah.
there was a
Yay!
guy at Outdoor Retailer. This is years ago, and he started some company where people could order like custom packs. And Backpacking Light did an article, like a review. And this, senior editor ordered a pack from this guy and then wrote about how it wasn't quite right, and the guy redid it. And I thought, I had previous experience where briefly we did semi-custom packs, and then I very quickly tired of that and gave the pattern to some lady and said, you can do, someone wants to custom pack, I'll send them to you. You keep all the money. I don't even care. I just don't want to deal with them. And she told me a story once that always stuck in my head, is that this gal ordered a pack and she made her pack, and the gal tried it on and says, it doesn't fit quite right, blah, blah, blah. And the sewer made her another pack, and she says, no, it still doesn't fit. It doesn't feel right. And so then the sewer starts asking this lady some questions. Well, come to find out, she'd never backpacked before. Well, how the hell does she know what a backpack's supposed to feel like? It's like,
Ever know?
yeah. So it's like
Gotta test that out.
that Backpacking Light article. I'm thinking like, okay, so a senior editor, guy is like super experienced, should know exactly dialed in what he wants. He makes an order and it's not quite right. I go, this will not last. This guy will, if he's smart, go out of business very quickly.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's what I mean. I knew because we've tried multiple backpacks, through our through hiking and backpacking and blah blah blah. And when I talked to Build-A-Bear, I was like, "Here's what I like. Here's what I don't like. Here's what I don't want. Here's what I want." And he's like, "Yeah, I think I can make that work for you." But yeah.
So we've got these virgin packs just hanging on our wall, waiting to be broken in right now.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know. We're excited.
I was gonna say it's 7:01 our time, Glenn. So we probably should wrap this up, babe. For time and purposes.
Yes. I just had one thing I wanted to ask.
The sleeping bag.
Yeah.
I've been dying to talk about your sleeping bag. I forgot about this.
Okay.
But I was wanting to know.
So like through the progression of Glenn's backpacks, he like didn't put any padding in his shoulder straps. He would stuff his night socks in there, and he uses, chopsticks for tent stakes, all these things to try and shave weight so that he can take less to do more miles, and then that's applied into your life as well. But when it comes to the sleeping system, you don't want to skimp, but Glenn's sleeping bag, it's like hyper customed, and I would love for you to talk about your sleeping bag and how you wiggle your butt into like a dimple in the dirt to find the perfect sleeping position for yourself at night. Because it's intriguing.
Okay, I will give you my speech. And I may be maybe not the only person in the world, but one of a very small group that thinks like this. But so if you lie down on a flat floor for very long, what hurts is two things. One, your tailbone will hurt because you have a lot of weight resting on it. And the small of your back will hurt because it's unsupported. Because the floor is level, your spine curves. So there's two ways to solve this. One, you can carry a pound of inflatable air mattress and hope that you don't puncture it and blow it up every night to even out the difference between the flat ground and your curved spine. Or you can pick your ground carefully and contour that ground so it matches your shape of your back. And by happy coincidence, people always go, "Oh, yeah, but I sleep on my side." Okay, so I start on my back, and then all night I flip. First right side, first left side. But for most people, the geometry is somewhat similar. On your side, you have your hips instead of your butt, so something out, and then your waist goes in. So same concept holds. And generally, if you contour like a GVP divot, some people call it, because probably I'm the only one that does it. But I did. So I did a little event with Women Who Explore last year sometime.
Yeah.
Went down to a little campground. A cool group. I actually met the founder of that on a trip in Buckskin Gulch. But so I'm giving my little speech on this, and you can tell the women are around with their arms crossed going, "Yeah, this guy is like stupid." So we did an experiment, and, I dug out a little divot and then made a little lumbar thing, and they lay down on it and watching their eyes like, "Oh my gosh, this really works." It blew their minds. So it's a little more trouble,
I'm glad you also brought in the female aspect too, because I was curious, the difference between a man and a woman's body shape. But that's perfect. But I want to ask, because it's literally been on my mind since I read the book. Your sleeping bag. It is the way I read this sleeping bag. You don't have a zipper.
Zippers are heavy.
But is it because zippers are heavy? But is it closed completely around?
It's closed completely around and has a hood.
I won this one. Okay.
Because that saves you from any breezes, keeps the bugs out. Obviously, I'm concerned about insulation on my head since I don't have hair anymore. So I like a full hood compared to a quilt.
Yeah.
And so for me, the optimum solution is no down on the bottom because, what makes down insulating is the airspace. Well, if you're lying on it, there's no airspace. So you're just carrying around, 4 or 5 ounces of down that's totally worthless. But full down around the feet because you want to keep your feet warm, and then down around your shoulders and your head because that's where you lose a lot of heat.
Who custom made this was my other question.
So I have amazing news for you. Nunatag Gear made me 2 bags. I have a 20-degree version and a 30-degree version like 20 years ago. There is a company which I was unaware of until a friend who coincidentally is now dying of a brain tumor. He alerted me to this company in Poland, Cumulus Equipment, and they make my exact bag.
Wow.
Cumulus?
Yeah.
Is what they're called?
Cumulus Equipment.
Okay.
And they're going to be, so I ordered one, of course, and it was cheaper. It was less money shipped from Poland and quicker than what I spent and how long I waited 20 years ago for one made in Washington State.
Wow.
What?
It's crazy.
Okay.
And it's way better. It's lighter materials, better down. The guys that made it for me said they couldn't do a baffle around the neck, some blah, 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 technical reasons. These guys figured it out. So obviously that was BS. And you know how when you tighten one tightens around your chest and one tightens the hood, and you always it's always 50-50, you pull which one shock cord or the other to see what happens. These guys made one a flat ribbon and one a round shock cord. So you can tell by feel which is which.
That's insane.
It's crazy.
What's the
quality.
weight? What's the weight on it?
The weight is, they make I had to get a custom because theirs fits up to like 6'2", and I'm shrinking, but I'm not there yet. So I forget. You can look on their site. It's called the Ariel.
Okay.
The Ariel, They make an Ariel 330 and an Ariel 230, I think. And we're doing a collab with them. And Gossamer Gear is going to be offering a version of that bag. With my colors, like blue on the outside. And I like the inside black because then, if you're stopping for a late lunch or snack, you turn inside out, the black absorbs the sun, dries it out.
Yes.
I love the multifunctionality.
That's exciting. Okay, we'll have to check that out when it comes out.
Check it out.
Yeah, we have a Thermarest 20-degree. That honestly, we took it on the AZT. We did also pair it with a Sea to Summit fleece thing.
So our sleep system was about 2 pounds without the mat.
Mine was 1.5 pounds though, because it's like a 14-ounce sleeping bag. But I mean, we had negative temps, like literally below 0 temps out there, and there were a couple nights that we were definitely like, okay, this is not comfortable. But honestly, I don't think we ever had like a truly freezing, like can't function night where we were getting hypothermia. So
yeah. Well, that's exciting to hear about the bag.
Yes, that is exciting.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so bummed. We need to wrap up our time, and but this has been an absolute pleasure, Glenn.
Likewise, you guys need to come visit so we can talk more for sure, and you can meet Francie. Yeah.
I know. I really want to meet Francie.
PIC. Yeah.
PIC.
We need to have Francie on the podcast to talk about being married to you.
Would she ever? Well, I guess that's what we'll do.
She
when
might.
we come visit.
You'd have to enroll her in that. Yeah. Well, and how she got her name PIC is we were doing a trip. Like a friend of hers was way into backpacking and wanted to go, and so I took I took her friend and some other people, and Francie said, well, I'll go because my friend's going, I don't really care about backpacking. But so I think they're in a DCF 2-person tent, and she has to pee in the middle of the night. So Francie's just like peeing in a cup and tossing it out. And the gal says, aren't you worried about, getting something on the sleep bag? She goes, honey, I'm married to Glenn. I got like I got gear. Gear is not something I'm worried about.
I got so much gear coming out of my eyes.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
Oh my
we
goodness,
go.
so many loving kisses over here.
know.
Y'all
I-
can't see
it's
it, but our husky's losing
Close to dinner time, so she's starting to.
Yeah.
She's like, "Where's my
it.
food?"
Wheels are coming off.
Pulling on the charm here.
Yeah.
I feel like she's usually the one who cuts our episodes off for us, isn't she?
Loba, yeah, she
Yeah,
is.
she usually is.
She's the one who's like, "All right, you guys are done. I've been waiting.
that
I've been
Dinner
patient.
time.
Like,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
time." But
Man.
Well-
Are
Oh,
you still around?
yes, we are still around. It's gonna like leave the session because we haven't touched the
Ran
computer.
out of
That's
time.
great.
All right, let's wrap this sucker up.
I know, it's been such a pleasure. My goodness.
Likewise.
Yeah, and what a great read, folks. If y'all have the time and the desire to read a book, you should definitely check out Glen's book, Take Less, Do More.
Or listen to it on audiobooks if you're an audio person or you're driving to work and you're stuck in traffic or stuck through snowstorm like
Oh,
we've
yeah.
been in Colorado, or if you're hiking, or you're walking your dog. Honestly, this is a great audiobook to listen to, like if you listen to a podcast. So I definitely recommend either way to check it out.
Also available on
Definitely.
Kindle.
Ooh, there we go.
Nice. Ooh, I've always wanted a Kindle. It saves a lot of
Have
trees.
you?
It saves trees.
Okay, you want a Kindle? That's good to know. I'll bank that one.
Maybe. We'll talk about it.
But well, everyone, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Again, Glen, thank you so much for your time. Cannot say enough how rich this episode has felt with you, the connection with you. And but yeah, if you liked this episode, you guys, please like and subscribe.
We're not doing paid subscriptions anymore.
We
so
are
this is
not.
all just for the people.
No, it's truly took too much time, I think, out of our worlds. We are going back to our PCT episodes because I am a linear storyteller and it was driving me crazy. So
Yeah.
I want to finish up our PCT adventure for all of you. And we'll continue on through there. Glen, your episode will be plopped inside of our PCT world, which will be perfect.
It will be.
Yeah.
And I think that at some point, like you're saying, Glenn, we should have a part 2 because I
Oh,
need
we
to pick
will.
your brain about some of your gear and some of the ways you see things in the gear world. So,
Yeah. But also, if you had any thoughts, we have had a couple people reach out to us because they're going to do the PCT this year. You guys, I'm so excited. I cannot tell you how excited I get when I hear people who listen to our podcast years later telling us that they are going to do the PCT and they've got their permit and, anything. So if you have any questions, please reach out to us. You can DM us on our socials. You can email us at yetiwalksintobasecamp@gmail.com. We really want to help you guys out. I do have a spreadsheet. So if you want to look at it and see how it helps you, I would love to give it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think by the time this episode releases, one of our biggest followers, Tahoe Dynamite, will already be on the PCT.
Go Tahoe!
So if you're listening to this while you're hiking, you got it.
We are so excited for you, and we cannot wait to follow your adventure and your journey. I think is that it?
I think we should go out to the PCT and find Tahoe so that we can tell her whenever we see her on trails.
He's
And
Here we go. Here's our setup, Glenn, because I never
get
get it.
This is the tee up. And 3, 2, 1.
Happy trails.